Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch and welcome to Fun Fold Friday. We're going to make a Christmas card today using our template that we made on Tuesday for our gift card holder. And make sure you stick around to the end. I've got some other examples to show you that aren't Christmas cards. So before we get started, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video, because we've got some pretty fun stuff coming up and you wouldn't want to miss it. So let's go ahead and make our card today. I'm going to start with a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 5 1/2, and I'm going to give it a good burnish with my bone folder. And next I've got a piece for the inside that we're going to stamp on that's 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm just going to put that to the side for a minute. Next piece we need is for our pocket. So I've got a piece of white here that is 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, and I've scored it at 1/2 inch. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a little press with the bone folder. And then we'll go ahead and glue this down. So basically I'm going to take some liquid glue and I'm going to put it right along this 1/2 inch piece here. And then I'm going to take it and set it down and kind of butt it right up to this and fold this over. And then when I get it top to bottom looking good, I'm going to take it and fold it over again, and then just kind of check and make sure that I've got it lined up with all the edges. And since I used that liquid glue, I've got just a bit of a moment to finagle it around. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a good crease here, because I just want to make sure that that stays down there. So there's the beginning of our pocket. Now, next piece we need is our piece that is the same color as our card base. So I've got another piece of black that's 2 1/2 by 4 1/4, and we're going to do the same thing to this that we did to the white. So I'm going to put glue on this, and I'm going to set this down right up against the edge of the white that we just put on, fold this over, wiggle it around so I'm good top to bottom, fold it over again, check my edges. That looks pretty good. Okay, we're going to give it this a good, a good burnish as well. Again, we want that to stay on there. Okay, now, next piece we need is going to be some pattern paper. So I'm using the Modern Christmas Suite paper here. So we need a piece that is 4 by 5 1/4, which is going to go on the outside here. So we can go ahead and get that put down. I'm just going to put some liquid glue on this. And we will take this and center it up on the front of our card here. And let's see. Move this up a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. So there's that. Now, next piece is 1/2 inch by 4 1/4, and you could do it one of two ways. You could put it down. We're just covering up this seam here. Now I could put it down this side, but it didn't really leave me much of my pattern paper, so I'm actually going to flip it over and use the back side to put in this little binding here, because I think it just looks better. So you could do whatever you want in this little piece right here, and honestly you wouldn't have to do anything at all if you didn't want to, but the point is to cover up the seam where the two different colored cardstocks come together. So let's go ahead and get that put in there. I'm going to scoot that over just a little, because if you get onto the crease, it makes it so it's hard to close. So I want to stay away from the our score line there. Okay, so that looks pretty good, just like that. And it looks like I've got maybe just a tad too long here. I'm just going to take my scissors. I know you guys might not be able to see this, but I'm just going to barely trim that little piece off there. Okay, that's better. Okay, now, so we've got that down. This still closes. We're good. Next piece we need is going to be this piece that's going to cover this right here. So this is our piece of pattern paper that is 2 by 4 1/4. So it's going to go here. So I'm going to glue, and we'll just make sure that we're putting the right side up, and we're just going to put this on this part of our pocket. And again, I'm just lining it up even with all the edges. And we will go ahead and give that a good push down. Okay. Looks like, again, I might have just a tad bit too much on down here, so I'm just gonna take my scissors and trim that so that it's even with the bottom of the cardstock. So just like that. Okay, perfect. Now we need to make our little notch in this so that we can put our gift card holder in. So I'm going to use the Peace on Earth dies, and there's a set of nesting dies in here. I'm going to use the bigger of these. And I'm going to take this, lay this open flat like this. I'm going to take my nesting die, I'm going to stick it right here, and I'm kind of just trying to match this crease or dip right here in the die with the edge of the paper. And I want to center it left to right. And then I'm going to take some Post-it tape here and just put this on here to hold this die in place while I run it through my embossing machine. I thought I had a second piece of this, but I guess I don't. So we'll go ahead and get a second piece. Let me just run this through the machine and I'll be right back momentarily. Looks like I moved that. All right, hold on. We're gonna get this run through and our notch cut out. So I'm just gonna take it through actually twice. I'm gonna run it frontwards and then just take it backwards, since there's, you know, 2 or 3 layers of paper in here. Sometimes takes more than once to get it to cut all the way through. So let's see what we've got here. I'm going to peel this paper away, or my Post-it tape away, and the die away, and there we've got now our pocket. So let me put my Post-it tape back over here for the next time I need it. And we're going to take some tear and tape. And I'm going to use tear and tape on the edges of this just to make sure that I'm using a pretty strong adhesive so that these stay together, because we don't want our pocket to come apart and our gift card to get lost, because that would not be good, would it? Okay, so I'm gonna, whoops, hang on, it's stuck to my finger. Let me just get rid of that piece. We will try again. So we're gonna put this down here. There we go. And we'll tear that off. Now, I'm going to take my bone folder and just give these a good burnish, because it helps to get the tape off and yet leave the sticky down. Take your pick tool and just peel the edge of this up here. And we'll do that on this side as well. And then I'm just going to take this and close it. So we're just going to fold it over. Make sure we press this down really well. And so that is the place where you could, or can, I guess, put your gift card. So it just goes in here, like so. And it's a nice tight fit, so we know our gift card's not going to fall out and get lost. So that's a good thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish our card now. So now we've got this we need to stamp on. I've got some things I'm going to decorate on the inside of the card. We need our last piece of pattern paper here that's going to go on this edge right here. So let's put some glue on this. And we'll center this up right here. Just something like that. Okay, now, so this is, the card's going to go like this. Out here on the front, we're going to put our sentiment. So I've cut a couple of banners out of the one of the nesting dies, either the Everyday Details or the Nested Essentials, I don't remember which. And we're going to stamp on this piece and then layer it onto here. So let's push our decoration pieces out of the way here, and we'll do some stamping now. So for the outside, I'm going to use, well, I'm going to use Memento Black ink for both, but for the outside, I'm going to do this stamp that came from a set from last Christmas that says, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." So let me ink this up and make sure I've got it pretty good. And we will send it, or line this up with one of the lines on the glass mat so I can hopefully start with it straight. And it somewhat gives me the best chance to end up with it straight. So we'll see how well we did here. Okay, so we wish you a Merry Christmas. Cool. Okay. Now, next, for the inside piece, we're going to do another thing from that same stamp set. It says, "Hoping your home is filled with the spirit of the season." And so we're going to ink this one up. This black pad is so much littler than the other pads. It's hard to sometimes make it work there. Okay, line this up again. We'll get this up here. See how well we did. All right, looks pretty good. All right, let me put the lid back on the ink pad. We'll put it away. Then we'll go ahead and get this put on the inside, and then we'll build up our decoration pieces. Okay, so this is going to just layer right in here. And it's going to overlap our little piece of pattern paper that we put here, which is fine. That's what we want. Okay, so there's that. Now, on the inside here, I have a tree that I cut, and it was just kind of laying on my desk doing nothing. And I thought, you know, maybe we'll just decorate the inside with this. And I've got a little piece of a gold strip here that I think I'm going to put down first. And we'll kind of have our tree resting on it. So I don't need it quite this long. I'm just going to snip that off. We're going to put this down here, and this is kind of going to be the base for our tree to sit on. And then I've got a gold star to go on top of it. So let's just kind of put this little piece down here in the corner. And then we'll get our tree down. I cut this for another project and then didn't use it, and it's just been kind of hanging out here on my desk. And I thought, you know what? This would be a good card to just use it and get it out of the way. Okay, and then we'll get our little star that I cut out of the... So the tree and the star came from the stamp set. So the ornamental Christmas that comes with this modern Christmas suite. So the tree came from the die that is this shape, and then the star. So we're going to put that right there. Okay, so there's our tree, our decoration for the inside. Now let's go back and finish our outside. So I'm going to take our piece that we stamped on here, put some glue on this, and we're just going to center that up in the middle of our black banner here. And we'll try to get it straight. So let's see, that looks pretty good. Now, this is going to go here on the outside. Now, you could pop this up if you wanted to. I'm choosing not to, just because by the time you get the gift card inside here, it's going to be pretty thick. And if you're going to mail this, you want to watch your thickness, or you'll end up paying extra. And this might be too thick anyway, but we would see. That's so cute. Okay, last thing we need is bling. We need some bling. I'm going to use these Druzy gems here just to give it a little more bling than it already has, because can you have too much bling? Alright, we're going to use, let's see, maybe I don't want to do big. I think I want to do smaller ones, just because we don't have a lot of room left on this. So let's just do a couple there, and we'll do another little one over here. And there we go. So here's our card. We wish you a Merry Christmas, and hoping your home is filled with the spirit of the season. And we've got our tree and a good place for our gift card. Okay, let's take a look at the other ones the other examples I've put together here. So let's see. I did another Christmas card one. So this was some paper from last year. So 'tis the season. And then just Merry Christmas on the inside. And then I've got a couple that I didn't make as Christmas cards. So this one I thought, you know, people have winter birthdays. So I used this, what was this? The Peaceful Garden, I think, pattern paper to make this birthday card. So have a perfectly lovely day. So this would be a good winter birthday card. And then the last but not least, I made a wedding card. So to the happy couple on your wedding day, congratulations. So this is a very versatile pattern that you can use for all kinds of things. Any occasion that you would need to include a gift card, this pattern would work. So that's what we've got for today. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and like I said, ring that bell so you get notified for my upcoming videos. And I will see you all very soon. Have a crafty evening. Bye.